Hello, and here is a brief look at the multiple scenarios ahead in the Iran-US war, which has entered now day 7. So what's happened so far and what are the scenarios ahead is what we'll try to give you an overview. Beyond the fog of war, as the saying goes, Israel and the United States Operation Lion's Roar and Epic Fury respectively were followed by Iran's Operation True Promise 4, which could well be heading for a dangerous phase 4 and 5. But first, let us recount in general terms what is publicly known about the first three phases of the war. In the first phase, the United States and Israel launched the operations for regime decapacitation, conducting massive bombardment of the Iranian command structure as well as the air defense and missile networks. It was anticipated in some quarters that the regime would collapse with the death of Ayatollah Khamenei, but experienced hands possibly knew otherwise. Hence, the second phase was launched this time by Iran, known as the Operation True Promise 4, carrying out widespread missile and drone attacks on Israel and the United States military bases in the Middle East. These operations sent alarm across the world, including India, given the threat to many migrants in the region. Global air services transiting through Dubai and other Gulf hubs were crippled. Energy supplies were also affected, while the de facto closure of the Persian Gulf and actual precautions led to a rise in global oil prices, putting multiple economies, including India and China, at risk. In response to the Iranian Operation True Promise 4, the United States and Israel expanded the scope of operations in what we call now a Phase 3. Carpet bombing of the Iranian command structures in Tehran, as well as targeting an Iranian ship which was returning from India's International Fleet Review in international waters off the shores of Sri Lanka. This was the use of torpedo by a submarine on a warship after many decades. And now we are awaiting what happens in the fourth phase. Iran's reaction to the attacks by US and Israel is awaited. It is unclear how much of the command structure is flattened out, as Israel has stopped for how much is left and what will happen in the phase 4. It will depend on the overall war if Iran undertakes the same. In case the Iranian command structure has collapsed, which is unlikely, however, mixed signals are coming. The challenge for the United States at this stage is the authority to negotiate with the regime in Tehran. There is no clarity about who is in command in Iran, even though a triumvirate is said to be in power, including the Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian. At the same time, the nominee of the slain Ayatollah's longtime confidant Ali Larijani, head of the Supreme National Council, has been granted powers for decision making, at least till a new supreme leader is appointed by Iran's Assembly of Experts. There is much speculation about who this is, with Khamenei's son Mojtaba Khamenei a top contender. In the current scenario, of course, who is controlling the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is unclear. While top commanders are gone, the command structure runs deep. How far it is affected and who is now in command as his loyalty to Ali Larijani oblique triumvirate remain open questions. There are more imponderables in this scenario. But if the IRGC command is active and has the firepower to launch phase 4, more attacks on select targets across the region can be anticipated. What about a regime change option? Here, the Kurdish militias seem to be most favored by various intelligence agencies. Already, an operation could be underway by United States and Israel, with the Central Intelligence Agency and Mossad acting in tandem. It is unclear if such an operation has been planned, and the activists in the Kurdish area have already been given the necessary wherewithal. As per a CNN report, the Kurdish militias are expected to be active in operations in western Iran. In this case, a rapid operation is not possible. There are no indications that such a scenario is emerging. Nevertheless, if the Iraqi Kurdish militias are now being activated for an insurgency, it could be a long drawn out operation which could almost replicate and be a repeat of Iraq for the United States. A scenario that the Trump regime may dread internally, but may take the risk, given now that the United States has approved the launch of war on Iran. Here we end with many imponderables, as the people of Iran and the region face multiple crises in the days ahead.